My journey's crazy. That's why I said this. Yo, you can't write this, man. You cannot write this. My experience being gone and all the stuff that I went through preparing me for where I'm at today. You know, man, Tank is older. He had the lessons, getting his lessons of what he got to do, take us the rest of the way. And this is his.
If you give us a second, we'll take you to the station. You want me to use the bathroom, okay? We'll take it quick. Is that fair? Yeah. All right. Deal with this officer from your right here. All right. Damn, what?
Calvin Ford, the longtime trainer and father figure of Gervonta Davis, has finally spoken out about Tank's shocking arrest, and what he said has surprised the entire boxing world. For the first time since the verdict was announced, Calvin didn't come across as a coach protecting his fighter. Instead, he sounded like someone deeply hurt, watching a young man he helped raise see his life fall apart in front of him. Even more surprising, Calvin revealed that people don't truly understand what was happening behind closed doors, and he hinted that the real story is only now starting to come out.
Of the law, the right decision was made. It's just that it's a damn shame that he gets to lean on the letter of the law, and the state of Nevada and the parole committee had to lean on the letter of the law because he's somebody that I believe doesn't only deserve to be in jail, he deserved to be under the jail.
Gervonta Davis has been found guilty, not for anything that happened in the ring, but for losing control outside of it. The court's decision is now making headlines everywhere, and the impact is already reshaping his future, from major fights to lucrative endorsement deals. This is the very case that led to the cancellation of his huge matchup with Jake Paul, the same situation that forced Netflix to quickly look for a replacement event, and it may even put his boxing license and entire career at serious risk.
Be 1 foot in, 1 foot out, too. What are you talking about? You know how much money you got? You know how hard it is getting out that bed to go run early in the morning in gym for hours, and you know you looking at 20 million easy. You own all this real estate. You rich. You don't have to do this ever again. Then the compounding interest, like let's say 20 million in the bank. He get 5% off of that, so he probably making 500,000 in interest. He's not even spending his money. So it's like, hell yeah, he out of here. What? He gone.
In the middle of all this turmoil, Calvin Ford was nearly at a loss for words. He wasn't just Gervonta Davis's coach. He was his mentor and father figure, the man who shaped him, teaching discipline, loyalty, and the true value of hard work.
I ain't even gonna ask you that question on camera.
What?
I'm talking about family at this point. Cause you pulled up with just somebody else. You didn't even pull up with your team you pulled up with. We ain't see Calvin. Yeah.
Calvin was there.
Okay.
Calvin was there.
Okay.
I think he came a little late though. I spoke to him.
Y'all good.
Yeah.
All right, cause
I just seen Calvin too. But that's another thing. Calvin is someone that he's like, when I ain't had no pops, Calvin was the person that you feel me, stepped in them shoes. So no matter if he's not my coach, anything like that, he's always gonna be in my life.
And that's why I said I would have asked that question off camera because I already know. So I ain't, but you already cleared it.
Calvin Ford is now watching everything he and Gervonta Davis built together begin to crumble. In an emotional sit-down the next day, he opened up completely about Tank's state of mind, not holding back as he explained that the fighter people see today, the millionaire, celebrity, and knockout artist, is still battling many of the same struggles he faced growing up in Baltimore's toughest neighborhoods, showing that behind the fame and success, Tank's challenges remain deeply personal and ongoing.
You know, Calvin, he been with me since I was 7. I used to sleep in Coach Calvin's house. I used to sleep at his job when he was working at a seafood restaurant in Baltimore.
When I had to train Tank, when I didn't want him to get in trouble and I wanted to make sure we was together, I used to take him to work with me. And he'd chill. Everybody know him. Everybody know him at work.
Remember Calvin used to fuss at the guys that was coming up with me, and they was in the streets a lot. He was telling them, like, you can't have 1 feet in and 1 feet out. You gotta be, like, all the way in it. Like, focus on the goal, you know, and them guys, they went left. And unfortunately, they got killed.
You weigh the odds out like that. Do you want him to go to jail or you want him to live? That's the whole idea, to come to the boxing gym.
If I ain't had the people I had around me, like the people that started with me and things like that, I probably would have been off the scene for a long time.
Many people overlook how strong the bond is between Gervonta Davis and Calvin Ford. Ford was more than just a trainer. He stepped into Tank's life when he was a struggling kid in West Baltimore and helped shape him into a world champion. He gave him discipline, guidance, and a clear direction away from the streets. As Tank's popularity and success increased, talk began to spread that their relationship had broken down.
Calvin is Calvin. You know what I mean? I got Calvin tatted on me. Calvin ain't going nowhere. Y'all don't even know Calvin for CCO. I know, you know what I mean?
Rumors began circulating that Gervonta Davis was no longer comfortable with Calvin Ford's style, and that success, money, and pride were creating tension between them. However, whenever Tank faced questions about it, he quickly dismissed the claims. He made it clear that Calvin was with him for life and that no matter what disagreements happened in private, their bond was deeper than business, it was family.
At DC, they call me Mo. Calvin is Calvin. You know what I mean? I got Calvin tatted on me. Calvin ain't going nowhere. Y'all don't even know Calvin for CCO. I know Calvin, you know what I mean? Y'all don't know? Calvin is Pops. He ain't going nowhere. I got that nigga tatted on me. This shit, loyalty over everything. Bro?
That's why Calvin Ford's response to the verdict feels so powerful, because he isn't talking as just a trainer. He's speaking as someone who saw Gervonta Davis grow from a young boy into a star, and now he's watching him struggle and lose control of everything he built.
It's a fight. It's a fight. People are going to make mistakes.
Vegas is going to be on fire.
You know when you make a mistake. What happens when you make a mistake? You know, do the guys see when you make a mistake? You know what I'm saying? Like again, both of them are defeated. Both of them got that so-called power. You know what I'm saying? You know, I know what Youngin gonna bring. Right there, the thing is, it's manifesting in it. You know,
very
that's all. To me, he's working good. I'm trying to make sure his body good because that's what they say. We want to endure all the punishment in the ring. You know what I'm saying? My whole thing, I'm trying to put on a show for the others to come. You know what I'm saying? It's just door open for these type of fights. You know what I'm saying? Because we see the vision of where we're trying to go at. You know what I'm saying? Gervonta always said, man, coach, time is now. You know, we ain't second guessing ourselves because we hosting it. We're going to stay here. You know what I'm saying?
But the reality is, sympathy does not change a court decision, and right is right while wrong is wrong. This whole situation began when Jake Paul, one of boxing's biggest attention grabbers, agreed to face Gervonta Davis in a major Netflix main event. It was promoted as the fight of the year, power against personality, street grit against social media fame. The deal was signed and media tours were set, but then the lawsuit surfaced. Within days, Paul's team canceled everything. Even Jake Paul was not willing to step into the ring with someone dealing with multiple charges, because no one wants to put their reputation at risk.
That they were officially canceling the fight, saying Most Valuable Promotions immediately initiated an investigation. No, I had the wrong one. Okay, I'm reading this one. Most Valuable Promotions and Netflix have announced that Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis, the one I was reading was the one from late last week, originally scheduled for Friday, November 14th at the Cancellation Center in Miami, Florida, will no longer be moving forward. Quote, our team has worked closely with all parties to navigate this situation responsibly, said Nikisa Badarian, CEO of MVP. While we will not be moving forward with this event, our plan remains for Jake Paul to headline an event on Netflix in 2025. And that is what I'm hearing as well. They want him to fight in December. That is the hope. And they're actively looking for a opponent. More on that in a moment. Details regarding a new date, location, Jake's opponent, and additional bouts will be shared as soon as they are finalized. We thank Netflix, Cancellation Center, Seminole Hard Rock and Hotel and Casino for their partnership.
Behind closed doors, Calvin Ford said Gervonta Davis was completely crushed. He shared that Tank's training camp before the controversy was the best he had ever seen, with sharp speed, real power, and a clear mindset. But once the accusation came out, everything shifted overnight. The verdict has divided the boxing world, with some fans saying Tank must face the consequences and others believing he is being judged too harshly because of his past. For Calvin, though, this goes beyond boxing. He explained that after the split with Floyd Mayweather Jr., Tank's circle became smaller and much quieter. Without Floyd's influence and media protection, every mistake felt 10 times worse. While Mayweather stayed active with exhibition talks involving Mike Tyson and focused on protecting his image, Tank has been dealing with serious real-life problems, including court cases, investigations, and lost fight opportunities.
Another thing I want to touch on is the Floyd situation. You know, Floyd is Floyd. That's like I say, Tank is Tank, man. But at the end of the day, you know, the man is chasing greatness. And you should be supporting that. I always tell you that. You should be supporting that, you know. It's a rocky road that we see what's going on. Just pay attention, man. The story is going to reveal itself, you know. But again, that's how you burn bridges. Somebody said they say the true colors of a person is coming out, man. They can't stand it, you know. Calm is I don't like using that word calm, you know, but our Lord knows. He knows. He knows. He knows.
Even now, Floyd Mayweather Jr. has stayed silent in public about the verdict, but people close to him say he has been following everything and has told friends that Gervonta Davis is responsible for his own situation. For months, fans and analysts have pointed out that Tank has not seemed like himself. His draw against Lamont Roach Jr. was seen as more than just an off night. Many believed it was a clear warning sign, saying he appeared bored, distracted, and disconnected from the sport.
Tank is done. Tank is hung him up, shoes off, get the bag, put a plaque up, he done. Tank is done.
When you
Period.
say done, you mean like not fighting anymore?
Tank is checked out mentally. Tank is gone mentally. Tank looking for the big bag, of Jake Paul, Pacquiao, something sort, and he's looking to, hey, I'll see you later. Tank is standing. He's not gonna fight Shakur Stevenson at all. At all. I don't care how much money Turkey offered, give him 4 Lamborghinis, whatever. Tank ain't taking that fight.
Critics began doubting Gervonta Davis's drive, his fitness, and even the way he was living outside the ring. Some felt he had lost his passion for boxing and was no longer chasing greatness, but simply taking fights for the payday. Then the opportunity to face Jake Paul came up, and suddenly the energy around him felt different. In the training footage and in his interviews, and especially in the way Calvin Ford described his attitude, you could see the old version of Gervonta Davis starting to return. His focus looked sharper, his energy felt different, and it seemed like that competitive edge was finally coming back.
I was training for something like this. Obviously, smaller guy. How was this in the training aspect, Jake?
Yeah, just a lot of punching down, practicing, hitting below my knees, and a lot of speed.
He warming up.
We're
now.
sparring.
That's what we need.
We're sparring.
Warm up.
Some
I know
8-year-olds. I got the 8-year-olds in there.
If I find out anything, I'm gonna beat your ass and I'm gonna beat Jaden Love ass. On my mama, I'm gonna beat both of y'all ass. On my mama. And he laughing. You know, he laughing.
What are you talking about?
What
does he have to do with this?
Let anything, you know what I'm talking about. Let anything. Nah, I don't have to say it right now. Don't worry about it. I don't gotta say it up here. Let anything happen. And I'm gonna show you and him. Bet.
Gervonta Davis has been found guilty on multiple charges of domestic battery and false imprisonment, following detailed evidence from his ex-girlfriend, including photos, witness statements, and police reports, and this verdict lands harder than any punch in the ring because the fight was meant to be his redemption, a moment for Tank to prove to the world who he truly is. But instead, it has now marked a serious personal and legal setback that overshadows any professional comeback he had planned.
Jake Paul, Gervonta Tank Davis, the fight is in jeopardy. There's another, yes, I said another domestic abuse allegation against Gervonta Davis, and that may either destroy, postpone, change the entire event. There's been a lot of allegations against Tank. When things like this happen over and over, I think this is his 4th or maybe 5th allegation of domestic abuse, you kind of start to have to look at the person that's being accused of such and go, why do you keep ending up in these situations? And the way it's described, we've even seen Tank do some of the things already on camera. I don't think that's something that Netflix is wanting to be a part of at that point. I don't know if Jake wants to be involved with somebody like that, which is why they're starting to look for potential replacement.
Jury initially struggled to reach a unanimous decision, going back and forth over intent, prior incidents, and credibility, but after long hours of deliberation, they finally handed down a guilty verdict. Tank's legal team is already preparing an appeal, though that process could drag on for months or even years, and during that time, boxing commissions could suspend his license, which might effectively end his career before he ever steps back into the ring. Calvin Ford knows the stakes well, as Gervonta Davis has seen Tank's career repeatedly interrupted by legal issues, with courtroom battles often taking the place of the fights he's meant to be having. Tank has spent almost as much time defending himself in court as he has in the ring, and if the suspension comes through, it could mark a major turning point, leaving fans wondering if he'll ever return to boxing at the level he once had.
Tank Davis, he got arrested. I mean, any thoughts on that one?
You did, huh? Again?
Yeah, again.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, I actually like Tank Davis. He's a good, he's a good kid. He's a good fighter, a great fighter, actually. He's one of my favorites. Yeah, just get your... That's it, basically. Just shit, you don't hit women, man. Yeah!
From the 2020 hit and run in Baltimore that injured a young mother, to the 2023 house arrest violation that sent him to jail, and the multiple domestic violence allegations over the years, Tank's name has been linked to headlines far removed from the boxing ring, with stories about legal trouble and personal conflicts overshadowing any talk of uppercuts or knockouts.
Champion boxer Gervonta Tank Davis out of jail tonight. The famous South Florida fighter bonded out less than an hour ago.
Now he's accused of assaulting his ex-girlfriend in front of their children. CBS News Miami's Trish Christakis is live at the jail in West Miami-Dade with details on the allegations against.
Every time it seemed like he had learned his lesson, a new story would surface, dragging him further into controversy. Fans hoped the fighter in him could rise above the chaos, but no matter how hard he tried, each new case kept catching up and overshadowing his career.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Calvin Ford isn't giving up on Tank, believing this tough moment could finally make him face his personal demons. He revealed that Tank has recently started therapy, something Calvin has been urging for years, and it could be a turning point. If his legal team's appeal fails, Tank could face jail time or strict probation. His promotional deals are on hold, sponsorships frozen, and his Netflix fight cancelled. Still, there's a slim path to redemption. By showing real rehabilitation, public remorse, and a commitment to change, boxing commissions might consider reinstating him. Calvin is convinced a comeback is possible, pointing to examples like Tyson, Canelo, and Floyd, who all fell but got back up. Tank's story isn't over, it's just at the stage where he has to fight himself before he can fight anyone else, and this battle could determine whether he ever steps back into the ring or lets his career slip away entirely. The court may have ruled on Gervonta Davis, but boxing fans know the story isn't over. Comebacks make legends. The big questions now are, will Tank Davis step back into the ring, and could Calvin Ford be the one to guide his final comeback? Share your thoughts in the comments. hit like, and subscribe to Fight Night for more updates.